Welcome in, everybody, once again to another edition of Titans Tube. My name is Justin. This is Jake. And my goodness, Jake, do we have a special guest on for today?
I am starstruck. We have a big name joining us today, Justin. Go ahead.
Turn around, Lance Smith.
Who?
We're talking about what? We're talking about you, man. We have
me.
Yeah, we have the Titans. I don't know whatever the official name is. You're the on-field entertainment hype man. You bring the excitement and energy to the Titans home games, and you're also the host of a very good Titans show, the Titans Blitz, that you do with Eddie George.
Thank you, man. Yeah,
it's all good stuff, and you're like a Renaissance man. You're like all over the place.
I try to be.
Yeah, and man, it's excited to have you part of the Titans team. Of course, the former CMT countdown host.
Right.
Well.
That's stuff.
Good times there.
Yeah.
Man, how are you doing? We appreciate you joining us here. Thank you for the time.
I'm good. I appreciate that intro. It's really nice. I'm like, oh God, that you're going over my resume, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I did that too. Yeah, man, I don't know what I really am. I love my gig with the Titans. If you've come to any games at Nissan Stadium, I've yelled at you while I've thrown out T-shirts and played games with fans. But originally, I also do the red zone updates for what's happening around the league during our game.
Yeah.
And this is my 6th season with the Titans. And originally, that's all I was brought in to do because I have a TV background. I've done it for 20 years now. God, I'm showing my age. With CMT for 10 of those. And, in this business, entertainment, sports included, it's 6 degrees of separation, or you worked with everybody. And, some people behind the scenes with the Titans have been longtime friends of mine. And they called me up and said, hey, would you be interested in this spot? And I'm, as a diehard Titans fan, I grew up in Franklin. It's like, yeah. And it just evolved. And you mentioned it. You said my title, Hype Man. And that's kind of, really sort of, I guess, if you could condense it to one thing. Yeah, Hype Man. Because it's funny. When it's game day, I am super hyped. And I have to, make an effort to calm the hell down. I've screwed up so many of my hits because I'm just like, it's a goal line stand. Here's some T-shirts and here's stuff.
And I know you actually crack me up a lot because it's funny that we have done a couple of videos together in the past, and then I'm at a game and then I see you down there and you're like, let's go tighten up everybody. I'm like, God,
nobody knows it more than you. You've been sidelined with me.
Yeah, that's right. I had that crazy opportunity that one time, but yeah, that was awesome. But yeah, that's not even like a show or anything. Like that's legitimately you are into it, and you. Yeah, that's funny. You have to contain yourself to. Get into
it. And then honestly, so I started with the Titans 6 seasons ago, and then my second season they started the Titans Blitz with Eddie George. And honestly, guys, I've been, tooting my own horn here, but I've done a lot in my career, and I don't care for the entertainment industry. It's really sort of why I backed out of it. But when this thing came along, because I was kind of done doing the on-camera thing, but when this job came along, I we're Titans fans. You wouldn't pass it up, and then. I'll be damned. For 5 years now, I'm sitting next to Eddie George talking about the Titans.
Yeah. And I couldn't do it. I would just be like, hello, sir. Hi. Talk to me about the Titans.
Eddie makes it cool. He brings it down to earth. He's the coolest. Dude's got to get a gold jacket. He's the best ambassador for the game, for the Titans brand. He's amazing. He's an awesome human being. And so, I pinch myself when I do the gig. So I appreciate it, but I'm down to talk some football with you.
I do want to get to one more question, but we gotta get through this too before we ramble on too long. But a big announcement, and I do want to get your take on this because you work with this guy, Mike Donegan, who's affectionately called the Duke, his nickname there. If you've been to a Titans home game, you may not know his name, but you know who he is because he's the PA announcer for the Titans. Been there since day one, and it's his last game. And I gotta say, Lance, I'm a little sad about it. His whole 3rd and 2 at the 40.
Yeah. Hey Duke, what down is it? It's 3rd down. And then you'll see him. They'll take a shot of him, and he's in his little box, and he just goes to the window like the Pope.
Yeah, they started doing that the last few years because he's such a laid-back guy, but his voice is like what you know and when you see him. But yeah, that to me is just as iconic as Mike Keith's touchdown Titans and sack and all the other Mike Keith expressions. But that makes me sad because being a Titans fan and going to games since day one, and now this is his last game. And thankfully, I do get to go to this final game against Detroit. So I'll get to experience that one last time, and I gotta soak it in. But
you should. You really should.
I feel like that's a job opening, Lance. That I feel like you could, if you're looking for something else to do.
The thing about it is when I'm doing the show with Eddie, I'm doing the Titans Blitz with Eddie. It's TV time, and I can be professional and I can talk football with the legend, and I can do it. But like game day, you see me do it. I lose my bleep, and I don't know that I could do Mike's job because it's a very controlled thing. And I do voiceover stuff and whatnot, but that's a PA announcer it's a very sort of polished, refined delivery that I don't know that I could do on a consistent basis. Like
the other team throws a 50-yard touchdown line, and you're like, son of a. Oh, it's like, okay, Mike.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't.
Yeah. That mother
make
blanker,
the PA announcer much more entertaining. I feel like it would be a very reactionary kind of experience.
It would be like the you guys know Bob Menery, and you know Bob Menery, right, on social media.
I can't say I'm familiar.
Dude, you got to look up. I'm shouting out somebody else, Bob Menery on Instagram. It's this guy who naturally has this announcer voice. And he talks like this, and he's just everything he does. And he got famous because he got in trouble because he would show clips of NFL games, all sporting events, and just curse and all over it.
I have seen that. I have.
Yes.
Seen
that sounds more familiar now.
He's casual about it. Yeah, has the announcer voice, but he's like throwing in curse words and stuff. Yeah,
Ripper Magoo's his big thing. Anyway, I would be that kind of on steroids if I took his position. They're going to find somebody great, but I will say this, and we'll move on. Mike Donegan, the Duke. I'm a little older than you guys, but back in the day in Nashville, KDF 103.3 was a rock station, and it was the best rock station. And he was on air in the mornings with them, and was a well-known voice. He's worked in the industry for a long time, and he is a superb dude. Solid, chill, mellow, has the voice, and I will miss him because he's been at Nissan Stadium since they came to town, and it's gonna be sad. Things change, and the thing about it is like I appreciate and love my time at the Titans, or with the Titans at Nissan Stadium, but I, like you said, Duke, Mike Keith, like those guys are the fabric of the team. I'm just fortunate enough that I kind of have this moment. But I'll never fill those shoes.
Yeah, like you're kind of just losing a foundational piece from day one. It's just kind of a sad thing, but to move on, things got to change. So
but all the best to him, man. He's awesome. So I appreciate you shouting him out because he is a great human.
Yeah, go Mike Donegan. Make it to the Titans game. Fans out there, viewers watching this, and get to soak up one last time with Mike Donegan calling the game. Yeah. But all right, let's move on, guys, to this week 15 picks. We are closing in at the end of the season. It's December football, the most wonderful time of the year. Jake, briefly, can you give us our results from last week and our collective record and how we're coming along here?
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of closing in, I gained another game on Justin, who is still sitting in first place with 122 wins overall in the year. He went 9-6 last year for the second, 9-6 last week for the second week in a row. Right. I went 10-5, and then Sean from Sports Fury, we had both those guys on. Sean ended up with the upper hand in that one. He went 10-5 as well to bring the guest total to 110. And then I'm at second place with 117, just 5 games back of Justin with 3 weeks left to play. So let's hop into these games. Let's pick a few and let's see if I can't close that gap. Lance, you have quite a hill to climb here.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring it.
You're going to have to take opposite of us every time when the opportunity presents itself. You got to go with some dumb picks maybe.
I tell you though, that's what they do every time one of the panels on TV picks, all across the board, the other team wins. So.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they look like a smart one.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So we got some Saturday football here, guys. We got the weird days falling in line in December here. So we got the Buffalo Bills Looking good. Riding a 3-game winning streak, 10-3. Heading to Denver, though. Always kind of a tough place to play, regardless of how good the Broncos are. Last week, the Broncos kind of got it together on offense. Drew Lock slinging 4 touchdown passes. But with a 5-8 record, they're just kind of playing for next year, putting some good film on tape, showing the coaches what they can do. Young team, but I think they got an okay future ahead of them. But do they have enough to take down the Bills at home? Lance, I'll let you have the honors here. What do you see in this game?
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking spreads here, so this is straight up. Denver's decimated on defense, and the Bills are clicking. You know, they're not the same Bills that came to Nissan Stadium. Josh Allen is, look, these are the quarterbacks of the future. I know we saw Justin Herbert do his thing. These are the quarterbacks of the future. We've seen the NFL take a dip into the the Russell Wilson athlete quarterback pool. But I think those days are numbered, because Kyler Murray, he's looking good, but I think he's getting figured out. I'm not still sold on Tua, and that's part of that pool I'm talking about. But Josh Allen's that prototypical NFL, tall, strong, and he's even got a touch of that, super athlete and running the field thing going on. So
he's hurdled some guys.
Stopping him. Yeah, so I'm Bills.
Yeah, I agree with you. They're clicking too much on offense. They're playing their best football at the best time you can play your best football, in December. And I think they keep it rolling against Denver. Jake, what about you?
I unfortunately am going to make it a sweep. Yeah, the Bills are just really hot right now. Josh Allen is putting it together. I am, kind of a Josh Allen doubter. At least I was early in this year when all the MVP conversation came up. I kind of sort of poo-pooed it, but now he's got me kind of believing here. So give me the Bills as well.
Yeah, right. I don't know so much of the MVP, but you're right. I was just like you, but he's proving to me more that he's figuring it out. So I don't know that he's not Aaron Rodgers status yet, but it's like these big quarterbacks, these big young quarterbacks, they're the quarterbacks of the future of the league. So they'll get it together.
He's playing well. Sure. Stephon Diggs is helping him out big time too. That was an offseason acquisition of the year right there. So he's helping Josh Allen get to that next level. Let's move on here. The Saturday night game, we got the Carolina Panthers going to Green Bay. I think these results
might be another sweep coming here.
Yeah, it's going to be another sweep. I got Packers. Aaron Rodgers, I think, may have slightly unseated Mahomes for the MVP front runner. Mahomes threw like 3 picks last week, but Aaron Rodgers is still playing basically flawless, so you can't have any margin for error whenever Rodgers is playing flawlessly. So I got Packers. Jake, you got Packers? I'm
taking the Packers at home in prime time. I know there's no fans, but Lambeau with the Packers in December, it kind of just works. So I'm taking Green Bay.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, there's a I'd say this. It depends on how they look at us, because they got us next.
Oh yeah,
right? The Packers.
True. Yeah,
and this is a long shot. I'm not picking them. I am taking the Packers, but if they falter against the Panthers, I got to believe it's because they know they've got a big team coming to town, and they're still fighting for that bye. I'm not saying look, at this point in the season, if you're that good, you're going to beat the teams you should beat. And so, I'm taking Packers, but hey, we're coming up strong, coming up fast. And so, they might have an eye on us. They may be overlooking the Panthers, who can surprise teams, but I think they got them by 10.
Yeah. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Atlanta. Tampa Bay at 8-5, trying to solidify a wild card spot there in that NFC conference. Falcons kind of just trying to get through the season at this point. Julio Jones, questionable. Buccaneers, Ronald Jones, running back, is on the COVID list. So they're missing some pieces there, but I don't know. I don't see the Bucs dropping this game. I mean, it's Tom Brady. I don't think he's going to let this team not make the playoffs, especially against a weaker Falcons team for sure. Jake, what do you see in this game?
I wasn't a huge believer in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming into this year. Yes, they have, the superstar, billboard names on offense. And while, yes, I think Tom Brady could put it together, he's just getting a little too up there in age, I think. I don't know. They haven't won as many games as most people forecasted them to. And I'm not surprised that they ended up in the second slot in the NFC South. Will they make the playoffs? It's going to be an interesting look ahead, especially in that wild card fight. But I am going to take Tampa Bay here on the road, regardless.
All right, Tampa Bay. Lance, what about you?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, it's like it's sort of obvious there. Atlanta doesn't have what it takes to get through the season, to do anything in the playoffs. They're playing for paychecks, and Tom Brady is figuring it out. I was the same way at the beginning of the season, a little doubtful on whether they could put it together. Could he and Bruce Arians work together? But they had so many offensive weapons for Tom to click with, and they're finding ways to work. So yeah, no Ronald Jones, but Tom's just going to pick them apart.
Yeah, they have a bunch of great players, but I don't know. It seems like they always kind of leave you wanting more or something. I mean, you got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown now, and Howard at tight end. So it's like, shouldn't this team be like elite? I feel like, but
I think that if Tom were 5 years younger, they would be elite next year. But I mean, you're talking about the GOAT coming in and playing for a O-line that's hit or miss every other week, and most likely miss, forcing Tom to make these decisions and these throws that I say he can't make, but he doesn't make as often as he used to. And it's it's just getting on the same page. Plus, you have a lot of weapons that are high-powered weapons. I mean, the way guys run routes and stuff, it's all about comfort and getting used to each other. That's what this entire season has been about. I'd really love to see him come back next year just to see what can happen. I don't know. I mean, they have the elite weapons, but I think they're right where they should be, honestly.
Yeah, the first year Brady coming into a new system, new players, new scheme. It's the first time in his career he's haven't had to do that. So maybe a second year in this system would definitely push them up to that next level. Yeah, that's a good point. But I don't expect they might even be one and done in the playoffs. It depends on who they get matched up with, but I'm expecting them to make the playoffs. I'm expecting them to win this game as well. It's 3 sweeps in a row. We all got the Bucs in this game. Man, kind of a lackluster matchup here next. We got the 5-8 49ers going up against, I guess, the still alive 4-9 Dallas Cowboys. This NFC East is trash. It's an embarrassment. I can't believe a 4-9 team can still make the playoffs and win the division. But that's what we're looking at. So Cowboys got a lot to play for. 49ers more definitely on the outside looking in. So Jake, I don't know. Who do you think comes out on top here?
As much as I want to take San Francisco here, and I'm not sure why, I still kind of think of San Francisco as the team we saw last year. But, then you look at their record and obviously outside looking in, as you said. So I'm going to go with the home team here, the Dallas Cowboys, the team that kind of has a little more to play for. Andy Dalton got some sweet revenge in Cincinnati last week. So hopefully he's riding a little bit high there. And so I'm going to go with the Cowboys in this one.
All right. I'm going to jump in, and I'm going to say the 49ers are going to get it done. For some reason, they're a well-coached team, and they always come out to play. They're playing hard, and they've kind of always been, on trying to play catch up for most of this year, especially when all their injuries happen. Just not a lot of talent, it seems like, but they're just well coached. I like Kyle Shanahan. I like how he always seems to have a good ground game going for him. So I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling the Niners in this matchup. The Cowboys, I think they had a nice win last week, but it's back to the L column here for me. So I got Niners. Lance, what about you?
I was going to say, I wondered if anybody would take the Niners on this one, because I agree with everything you're saying. I'm going Niners. I think the Cowboys have had a confidence booster against a weak Cincinnati team. It's going to, you see teams do that. The Titans are notorious for doing that in the past, like coming off a win, any win, and then walking on the field and not performing as well because it's this confidence thing sort of gets out in front of them. So I think the Niners are a supremely coached team. They've just unfortunately been decimated with injury all year. And it's going to be they're gonna have to piece it together. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I see the defense stuffing the Cowboys. The Cowboys have a surprisingly bad offense and shouldn't, I think, but they do. They can't. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's McCarthy. I can't figure it out, but I like the Niners.
You got Andy Dalton, who has several years of starting experience.
Yeah.
You got Zeke Elliott, who a lot of people think is a top 5 back, or at least he was probably before this year. Amari Cooper, great receiver. So, yeah, they got a lot of weapons on offense. So, they're just not putting it together, even without Dak. I would expect Dalton to be doing more than what he has. But regardless, in the 49ers, I think their defensive coordinator too, isn't he going to be up for like a head coaching job? I think he's I can't remember his name, but both sides of the ball, they're a well-coached team. So we'll see what happens there. But let's move on to an AFC South matchup. And boy, oh boy, would it be nice if Deshaun Watson could lay the hammer down on these Indianapolis Colts and make getting this AFC South title much easier for the Titans. I don't want to have to win out to get this division. Colts won the first matchup 2 weeks ago because of a botched fumble at the 2-yard line. It was a heartbreaker. I don't know, though, man. Colts are looking pretty good. They just came off a pounding of the Raiders last week. Texans got blown the doors off by the Bears, who dropped 36 points on their defense. So I don't like the odds of this one. I'm going to go ahead and say the Colts are going to take this one. But maybe Deshaun Watson has some magic and can deliver us a nice early Christmas gift to the Titans fans out there. Lance, what do you think?
I'm just like praying the Texans could do this. Get Romeo Crennel, dial up some magic. Before he goes to bed at 4:30. I don't know what he does. I'm just kidding. The dude's a legend in the game. Everybody respects him and has been around. I don't care how much experience you've got as a defensive coach. It's Phillip Rivers and they're dialing it up. It's just the right time. It's I think it's going to be ugly, honestly.
And now T.Y. Hilton is suddenly coming alive and catching touchdown passes. He had been disappearing for the whole first half of the season. So that's not good.
They play fast. They play scrappy. This quick outlet passes. The Colts played the Titans very similarly to how Pittsburgh played the Titans in the first half of that game. And these quick out routes and in the flat, just burning us there because the Titans at the time, were dealing with so much injury, defense, COVID, all that. We're weak, and we were giving so much cushion. And Roethlisberger, for one half of football, burned us. And for the second half of the Colts game, the first time we played them, that's how they burned us. And there's something about that quickness when you have a team that's gelling and can, get a play run in 3 seconds and just move the ball. I don't know how the Texans can stop that. And J.J. Watt, poor guy. I mean, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He looks just destroyed by halftime because he's just giving it his all, and it's going to take more than his all.
He's just like drained. He's like, man, I'm over it. I think
he's over it.
He might be looking for a new team in the offseason here. Jake, can you give us the upset pick?
I will spare you my vocal cover of wouldn't it be nice, if we were older, then we wouldn't have to wait so long. Well, the Titans have waited long enough to win an AFC South title, and that is why I'm going to let my rooting interests maybe get in the way here of a win.
Yes.
So I'm going to take the Houston Texans in this one, and I'll give you a little scrap of hope. DeForest Buckner has found himself on the injury report heading into the weekend, and the last time the Colts played without DeForest Buckner, it didn't go so great for them against our Tennessee Titans. So give me the Texans here in an upset.
Wow.
And hopefully, wouldn't it be nice?
I hope you're right. I did not know that about Buckner. I did not see that yet. And you're so right. It was glaringly obvious how important he was to that defense. Because Derrick Henry, who was his replacement? I forget his name. But Derrick Henry just buried him over and over and over.
Ran up the middle, 178 yards and a few touchdowns. So they definitely need to force Buckner if they want to make any noise in the playoffs. We'll get that. Wouldn't it be nice? Cover maybe in a separate video though. If they win, we'll do that. Another divisional matchup here, big time game. The New England Patriots at 6-7 are going down to the Miami Dolphins to take on an 8-5 Dolphins team who have a chance to just completely bury these New England Patriots after 20 plus years of dominance. I like their chances. Cam Newton, it didn't really work out for him this year in a New England Patriots uniform. But I don't know. You never know with Bill Belichick, man. He could have his team ready to play and firing on all cylinders. Historically, though, they have struggled in Miami, even when Brady was tearing it up. They have dropped more games in Miami than anywhere else, I think. So could be some Miami miracle magic happening down there. I don't know. Lance, I'll let you have the first take here. Do the Patriots have a chance?
Yes. The Patriots have a chance. Yes, they have a chance. They will not take advantage of that chance, though. It's Dolphins. Dolphins defense is hot right now. They're hungry, playing with some passion. Tua, for, right or wrong, ups and downs. He's ignited a bit of a spark, a bit of a fire under him. And, hell, they've got Fitzmagic if all else fails. But really, I like their defense in the game. I think they're very smothering. They have a good up front seven, and I think Cam gets smothered. And Bill, for as smart as he is, you said it right off the top. They just have this history down in Miami. Tannehill knows that very well. They have this history down there that it's tough for them to play, and I think this is the season. I think the Patriots, when they do win, they're surprising teams. Dolphins are taking on everybody like your kid brother mad at you. Just coming at you because they don't have anything. I mean, they came into the season with nothing to lose, and now they're looking around and they're like, wait, the division is in our sights. The wild card's definitely in our sights. There's something here. And I think that having that feeling of there's something here, the Titans, we went 9-7 4 times in a row on there's something here.
Right. It could be floating around there for a while too.
Yeah. I think the Dolphins take it.
Okay. All right. Jake, what about you?
As much as I wanted to make this my upset special of the week, I've already used my upset special of the week on the Houston Texans with my fingers crossed. I am going to go with the home team, Miami Dolphins here. I watched the entire Dolphins-Chiefs game last week, and the Dolphins gave, the Chiefs all they had, but obviously there is that kind of disconnect from there's something here to there's already, much established here with the Chiefs. But give Miami Dolphins defense credit. They're right in the thick of it. So give me the Dolphins at home.
Yeah, and they're only 2 games back from the Bills with a game against the Bills left to play. So if the Bills drop a game, hey, this thing could get real interesting. But having said that, I'm gonna pick an upset here. I like the Bill Belichick going up against a rookie quarterback kind of situation here. I don't know. It's just a funny feeling that I have, and they're totally desperate for a win. I don't think Bill Belichick wants to finish with a losing record or even a 500 record. I bet he wants to try to get to at least 9-7 respectability. I don't know. I do think deep down in my soul that Miami's going to win this game, but hey, just to make things interesting, I'm going to throw my hat in for the Patriots here. I think they can put it together. Cam can have a bounce back game. I
believe you started off the game with going Cam Newton. Yeah. And now we're full circle.
I mean, it's a roller coaster with me here.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
I've
changed picks in the circle around. I don't even know. We'll move on to the next game.
Yeah, we'll see if I change a pick here mid sentence in this one, because this one's kind of a toss up, I guess. You got the Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings, both still alive at 6-7. Because it looks like an NFC wildcard team will probably end up being having a 9-7 record. You got the Cardinals in there too. So, yeah, both a lot to play for here. Mitch Trubisky, like I said earlier, tore up this Texans defense. Yeah, not the best defense in the world, but he looked good. So yeah, and the game's in Minnesota. Jake, I'll go right back to you. What do you see in this game?
I've had a lot of fun picking the Bears in these NFL pick series that we've been doing. And that, just for that reason, I kind of have a heartwarming, kind of home feeling with Chicago. So I'm going to go with the Bears here. I like them bouncing back. Mitch Trubisky coming back in, maybe, who knows, provides them a spark that gets them an NFC wildcard berth. That's the beauty of the NFL. You never really know. So I'm just going to throw my hat in and take the Bears.
All right. One for the Bears. Lance.
Yeah, it's funny. I looked at the picks this week, and this is the one I think I had the hardest time with, because I could see a scenario that one team gets blown out, and it could be either one. I mean, I could see that happening. Most likely it's going to be a close game, divisional game. They know each other, blah, 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 blah. But I could just see, because that's the thing with the Vikings and the Bears is there's no consistency. There's talent, but they don't play it well. There's bad luck that just befalls both of them all the time. Yeah. Dan Bailey, the kicker of Minnesota, has had dude.
4 picks missed in 1 quarter or something like that.
Yeah, and as a Titans fan, it's like I feel for that. I completely know that
for
pain.
Sure.
Yeah, it's awful. And I Jake, like you, I wanted to go Bears. I like the Trubisky thing, but honestly, he's hit or miss. And my X factor, is Dalvin Cook. So I think that right there. I think if they can get Dalvin Cook going. They manage the game well, and they take care of Chicago. So I'm going Vikings. It's weird. I didn't think I could say that, but because I don't think the Vikings are a good team, even though they played us close. That was early in the season. We're totally different teams now. I think the Vikings still find a way to pull it together and give themselves some false hope.
All right, false hope. Yeah, make them believe for one more week that the playoffs are still in reach. But
right.
Speaking of Dan Bailey, I saw a stat too that it was like Dan Bailey now leads the league in missed kicks. And I was like, how bad was this guy? I thought Gostowski had a lead by a wide margin in that category. I can't believe someone caught up to him and then surpassed him. But, hey, He hasn't missed a kick in like 3 or 4 games. So shout out to Gostowski. Knock on wood. Good God, I just jinxed him. But, for me, I see these 2 teams and like on paper – I think the Vikings have the better quarterback. They have the better running back. Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson are better than Allen Robinson. Well, Allen Robinson is good, but that pair is definitely better than the Chicago pair.
Chicago
pairs. Oh, okay. Taking it. And Mike Zimmer for sure is a better coach than Matt Nagy, I think, at this point. So I guess that's kind of how I'm lining it up with 2 teams coming in with even records in the same division. I like the talent on the Vikings and the coaching on the Vikings better right now at this point in the season, and they're at home. So I'm gonna throw my hat in for the Vikings as well.
Yeah, I like Jefferson, man. He shocked us when we played him. He's a superb athlete, great route runner, got some hands. But just his route running I have not seen that in a while. Fresh out of the box like he does it. Very impressive. So, yeah, I think the Vikings have a lot of X factors, honestly. They just got to get it clicking,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh, that was so – dude, I hated – that was like one of my least favorite moments in the season when he started doing that skip dance into the end zone on that long 70-yard touchdown
the gritty,
pass.
Justin. Dude, you got to get up with the times.
Dude, I'm way too old.
Come on now.
I couldn't think of the name, so I called it the skip dance. I knew it was called
the skip dance. I'm the one in my 40s. I should be calling it that. I should be, that little thing they do.
Dude, I'm so lame. You have no idea.
No, I got you beat there, buddy.
We'll see. But Justin Jefferson going to be a great receiver in this league for a while. But let's move on to this next game here. Pretty intriguing. We got the 9-4 Seahawks going to the 6-7 Washington football team, NFC East leading Washington football team. And it was just recently that the Seahawks dropped a game to the New York Giants. So I'm starting to wonder if we can trust the Seahawks team to beat even middling teams. Like Russell Wilson is having a great year. He's turning the ball over a lot, but he's still, one of the top quarterbacks in the game. The defense has gotten better. I know that was definitely the weakness of that team, but I think it's getting a little bit better. But I don't know. They're traveling all the way across the country, maybe experiencing some jet lag, and I don't know. I don't know if I can trust the Seahawks team. I could definitely see some Washington winning here. Oh, and an important point, it will be Dwayne Haskins starting instead of Alex Smith for this game. So that's definitely going to play a huge role. So, Lance, I'll go down to you. What do you see here?
Yeah, it's funny because on paper, I was looking at this, and it's a shame Alex is hurt.
Man, yeah.
Because it's not he'll come back. It's not as gruesome as it was, but it's just like we were really excited about that comeback story. Haskins, I don't trust. And so honestly, on paper, this pick for me, I was easily going Washington. Historically, you're right. You mentioned it. West Coast teams don't travel well to the East Coast, and some people, poo-poo that that idea. But it's, facts don't lie. But Seattle is the one team that defies that logic, that defies that trend. They play well traveling. At least they have, except late in the season. I know it's cold where they play in Seattle, but it's late in the season. It's cold, and I like Washington's defense. They're smothering, and Ron Rivera is a superb coach. Mad respect for him. He's got these guys tuned up and playing for something. There's a spark there at that team. So I'm still going to take Washington. This might be my kind of upset. Yeah.
Wow.
I think they get to Russell. Look, the Seahawks have shown who they are. And I think Rivera and company are going to be ready to take that on. And I like a smothering defense. I called the Washington over Pittsburgh game. I was like, easy, got it done. You saw it coming, because Pittsburgh they were a fraud going into that game, and we should have beat them. Yeah. They've got talent, they can move the ball, but they hadn't played anybody. They had lost or they had won by super, super close margins. And I was like, Washington's going to capitalize on that, and that's given them confidence. And I think we're going to see the same thing again, even with Haskins. If Haskins doesn't turn it over, more than once, I'll give him a pick. Yeah. But as long as he can control the ball and they can maybe win time of possession, I think Washington does it.
Man, yeah, you threw me for a loop a little bit talking up, Washington and Haskins. You kind of stole the point that I was going to make, but I'm going to actually use it to actually pick the Seahawks, because I think the X factor for me going in was Alex Smith. I do not trust Dwayne Haskins. Missing all this time and then having a tough Seattle team, really needing a win to stay on top of this NFC West race. So that's kind of it for me. Washington would have been very tempting, way more tempting for me for Alex Smith, but with Dwayne Haskins in there, I got to roll with the Seahawks here. I got Seattle. Jake, what about you?
Now, I'm in the heart of Ohio State Buckeye territory. Even the backside of my cup is script Ohio and everything. Yes. And so I know it as well as anybody else. You don't trust a Buckeye quarterback in the NFL. And for that alone, if Alex Smith was going to play this game, I was going to take the Washington football team. But now, Seattle's still good. They're still, one of the upper echelon teams in the NFC. So I'm going to take the Seahawks on the road.
All right. We'll see how it plays out. That'll be an interesting game. Not an interesting game here because it involves the 1-12 Jacksonville Jaguars going on the road to take on this Baltimore Ravens team who was, things were looking real bad for him with the COVID issues. They started dropping games. They were like, this team who was the favorite last year to win it all may not even make the playoffs this year. But if they notch a win here, they move up to 9-5, and I think things are looking better for them. They have a decently easy schedule to close out the year. I got Ravens at home for sure. Man, what a thrilling win that was last week against the Browns. One of the best games of the year.
It was awesome.
Oh, yeah. Lamar Jackson, the movie script ending, coming out onto the field for the 4th down play, and he throws a touchdown pass. Ridiculous. The NFL is probably scripted. I mean, after watching that, it's just ridiculous. I got Baltimore. They take care of business. Jake, who you got?
That'd be quite a thing if the NFL scriptwriters wrote in Lamar has to take a poop in the middle of the craziest game of the whole year. So that would be wild. I think the scriptwriters of the NFL are going to have Baltimore win this game here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Lance?
I agree that, talent and whatnot, but I do know that the COVID bug has hit Baltimore again. Do you know that? Did you know that? Has that been reported?
How serious is Lamar
am I saying something that I know behind the scenes?
As long as Lamar's playing, I think they'll be fine.
Lamar's in. Smart money says Ravens, and I think I'm going to take them, but I honestly – Jaguars just sometimes, do this crazy thing, like week 1 when they beat the Colts.
So thank God for that game.
I've already gone out on a limb saying Dwayne Haskins-led Washington football team is going to beat the Seahawks. So I will not pick the Jaguars here, but I want to, not because I like them, but there's something nagging in my brain. But
is it the Minshew magic? The Minshew magic is nagging at you. He has returned.
It is. Honestly, you saw what he did. Granted, look, he comes into the game. We weren't yet prepared for the scrambling quarterback, but he does. He adds a spark, an element. Yeah. And there's something there.
Yeah, I think the players get up for that. They would totally rather play with Minshew than with Mike Glennon back there. So,
and you know what? James Robinson. James Robinson's going to have
You're about to
a
change
day.
your pick. Okay.
I am. Changing it.
Wow.
Changing it. I'm doing it.
Oh,
I'm
no,
sorry.
Lance.
James Robinson is going to have a day, as well as Laviska Shenault. It's going to be this weird Robinson Shenault game. We'll be talking about Minshew. I'm just going to put it out there. That I'm going to listen to the nagging voice in my head and
listen to those voices.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. I like it. Stop. Man, you might need to get that checked out. Okay. Hey, you got the Jags. I like it. I love throwing, some crazy wild picks out there. And if it happens, dude, what do you have to lose? I mean, to look like a genius, or it's like, you kind of expected the Ravens to win, but you could look like a genius.
I'm used to looking like a moron, so I'm at home there. I'll take a shot at genius. I do. I think that if they beat them, that's how they'll do it. It'll be that. Because let's remember this. I mean, look, incredible game against the Browns. When it comes to those divisional games, though, great things happen when teams know each other. Eddie talks about the divisional games all the time. In the same division, you can have two terrible teams, NFC East, take for example, and you can have a really fun NFL battle that exists between those teams, regardless of the record. And I know these guys aren't in the same division, but the Titans laid the blueprint on how to beat the Ravens in the playoffs last year. And then after that, well, that's what everybody that's beaten the Ravens does. They force Lamar to throw to the outside. Look, he's not a terrible thrower. He can make some passes, and sometimes he can make brilliant passes. But you're asking him to do it on a consistent basis, and they're coming off this big win that's given a lot of confidence. And again, the Jaguars have nothing to play for or lose. And I do like James Robinson. I like him a lot. I just now that, and so we've been talking about it. I'm like, there's a blueprint to beat the Ravens, and the Ravens might be too confident. And I think if Jacksonville does pull off the upset here, that's it for the Ravens.
Oh yeah. They would be buried. They would be like, all right, we just lost to the Jags. Yeah. We just got to throw the towel in for the rest of the season. We can't bounce back from that. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Lance, I'm going to put your sanity to the even a bigger test here, because we have the
Jets.
We have the winless Jets Jets going to the LA Rams, who are playing some mighty good football here with a mighty good defense. I feel so bad for Sam Darnold. I just hope he lives. I just want him to come out breathing after this game. I definitely have the Rams because I have no voices in my head. I have a critical thinking brain here. I got the Rams for sure in this one. Jake?
I will pick the Jets' lone win. I've been saying this for weeks now. I will pick it when it happens.
You both are crazy.
When it happens, I will pick it, and that will not be this week.
Okay.
All right, I freaked out way too hard for a second. Okay.
I did too. I was getting excited. I was like, whoa, what's happening? Just totally making my last pick look sane. Look, there's no conversation here. I mean, I think the spread is 17.5.
Wow.
Oh God.
I'm
seeing 17. Yeah.
I'd take the Jets plus 17. That's a lot of points there to be had.
What was that? They lost 40-3 against the Colts, or the Seahawks, not the Colts.
Yeah, there's some garbage time factor there too. Yeah. It's Rams. I picked the Rams early on. For Super Bowl NFC early on in the season. I was looking at them, and they've sort of fell a little bit, but man, McVay, the game he had on primetime the other night against Patriots.
Yeah, oh yeah, man.
I think they're dialing in at the right time, and Aaron Donald is going to, he's gonna get somebody hurt and benched.
This is a scary Rams team that's clicking right now, because this is a team where there's a lot of core pieces here that are not far removed from a Super Bowl. And same head coach, quarterback, Aaron Donald. I feel like they're going to make some noise in the playoffs coming up here.
Yep.
They're definitely going to make noise against the Jets. So that's a sweep for the Rams. Let's move on to a very intriguing game, in my opinion. The Eagles, who are 4-8-1, but have a Jalen Hurts, who put on a nice, sweet showing against the New Orleans Saints.
A Hurtsing, if you will, on the Saints.
Oh man, I missed it.
Thank you.
I missed it.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Appreciate that. Yes. He put a Hurts thing on the Saints. But they go on the road against this Arizona Cardinals team who are pretty desperate for a win to stay up on this wild card race. Cardinals sitting at 7-6. Man, yeah, this is going to be an awesome athletic quarterback display here. I don't want to pick this one first because the Eagles are kind of looking tempting right now. Lance, who do you have in this game?
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. Cards. I think Hurts is a good quarterback. I liked him in the draft, and I think he is their quarterback of the future. I will say that. I think Wentz needs a second chance somewhere else. I think Wentz has got talent, but a little bit of the Mariota effect. Maybe he's just had too much in his head and just needs to get back to playing and how he plays it.
Yeah.
But I think Hurts has a sort of come back down to earth game in traveling here. Cardinals have a surprisingly stout defense at times, honestly. And I think they'll give him some fits. I think Cards.
All right. I like it. Jake, what about you?
It's kind of you're really tempting me, Justin. You really laid it out for me to take the Eagles here, but I am going to go with the home team Cardinals here. Hurts might have provided a spark, at least to the offensive side of the ball. Players might be more excited to play with him versus Carson Wentz, but in the end, I'm still taking the home team Cardinals here.
All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to go against you guys just to make things interesting here. Maybe you guys can gain a game on me. But, hey, I really liked what I saw in Jalen Hurts. He was just kind of out there playing his game. And, he wasn't overthinking anything. It felt like the coaches kind of let him just be him, playing loose. And he ran for like 100 yards. Yeah. So, we'll see how the Cardinals do containing him. And the Saints also had a stout defense but had trouble with Jalen Hurts. So we'll see what happens there. But, Eagles kind of riding high. Confidence is up. I think that continues for one more week at least. I'll take the Eagles. Why not?
Yeah, I will say this. I think we talk a lot about Hurts. I think they go as Miles Sanders goes.
Yeah.
I think Sanders has a big game. Yeah. In fact, I think if Sanders eclipses, if he gets 100 yards from scrimmage, I'll pool his receiving and rushing games. But if he can put up, 100 and a score, if he's in control, I think if Miles Sanders has a game where it's because I think their focus will be on Jalen because they have to attack Jalen much as, say, the Titans would Deshaun Watson for the Texans in that, scrambling quarterback kind of thing. If they focus on him a lot and Sanders has a day, I could see the Eagles doing something with it. But you got to figure, the Cardinals defense, number one defense, goes up against Murray in practice. And Murray and Hurts have similar attributes in how they play their game, running and throwing. And, this is what they see day in and day out. And I think it could be a comfortable win for the Cards or a very close win for the Eagles by way of Miles Sanders, but still picking the Cards.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. Yeah, the Miles Sanders, if he can, do enough and take pressure off Jalen Hurts not having too much asked of him, that's just going to help him tremendously. So, big time game for Miles Sanders. We'll see if he can get things done against the Cardinals. But, I'll take the Eagles there. Let's move on to – this has got to be the game of the week. We got the 12-1 Chiefs. I was seeing if they had won 13 games yet. It's probably going to be 13. They're going to New Orleans, though, to take on these Saints who did drop that game. So they are now sitting at 10-3 and moved back down to the number 2 seed in the NFC. So they're going to be wanting to play hard and play well to clinch that one and only bye week. They do get Drew Brees back. Can the return of Drew Brees be enough to keep up with this Chiefs offense? Things are going to get interesting. Could we be in for a shootout here? I know Saints have a good defense, but the Chiefs defense, here and there, they're good, but they're not elite. Jake, who do you got in this game?
The year 2020 has provided some interesting backdrops for the NFL. Wouldn't you love to see the Superdome filled with fans for this specific game? It would be bananas. And, kind of that factor going into this one is going to make me pick Kansas City. Them going on the road into a hostile environment like the Superdome, with no fans removed, I'm going to take Kansas City here. Just on that factor alone. Drew Brees might be a little rusty. He's, also kind of an old man, might have some creaks and cracks in his throwing motion. But Patrick Mahomes is a well-oiled machine. So give me the Chiefs here.
For sure, yeah. Lance, what about you?
Yeah, I see the Chiefs probably dropping the first half and down 2 scores and just doing that thing that they do, what they did in the playoffs.
Then win by 4 scores.
Yeah, exactly. I worry about Drew. I really do. That dude got broken in half. You know,
yeah, that's a bad hit.
Yeah. I'm surprised he's back, honestly, and I think he's only back now because of what they're playing for. And Taysom Hill's just not. I don't care what they say. The announcers every time they throws a decent pass, so like, he's the quarterback of their future. I'm like, He's the gadget player of their future, or any team's future. He's not a quarterback. He's got a wind up that you can time with a calendar. He's an athlete. I bow down to his athleticism. I think it's incredible, but I like him for the gadget player that he is. I don't think I love the Saints defense here, and that's what I'm saying. I think they come out hot. But it's Andy Reid. The Chiefs are the team. They are the team to beat, not just in the AFC, but in the NFL. Sure. And I think that, and I know I'm a homer in saying this, I think the Titans are the team to beat them just because of how we match up against them. But I think that the Chiefs will overpower the Saints.
Yeah, that's funny. I was thinking about Taysom Hill. He seems like a player that played in the 40s, where he could throw a touchdown pass and then kick the extra point, kickoff coverage and make the tackle. Like he does it all. It's so odd.
Smoking at halftime.
Having a cigarette at halftime. Yeah, exactly. He's an exciting player to watch.
Totally.
He kind of won me over. I like whenever he runs it onto the field and lines up anywhere. Yeah, I'm going to keep mine short and simple too. I got respect for the Saints. I think they're going to make a deep playoff run at worst. But Chiefs are 12-1. I think that means I'm 12-1 in picking the Chiefs this year. So why would I go against that? I've done very well in picking Chiefs games. I think they go down there and get it done. They keep rolling. They lock up that first seed there, and the playoffs are going to go through Arrowhead, and it's going to be rough. So
yeah, and you know what else? You know who's about to turn it on? Le'Veon Bell will turn it on. There will be a point where Le'Veon Bell becomes and I think he's probably waiting for the playoffs. Not him, but I think Andy Reid. I think that Le'Veon Bell is such talent, and he's such an X factor, and I think they're just getting because they have so much talent, and they have Le'Veon Bell too now. And so it's at some point he's going to bust out.
I see your Le'Veon Bell turning it on, and I will raise you a Tajay Sharp breaking out for this Kansas City offense.
Another weapon added to the fold for Kansas City.
Right?
He's gonna turn it on. He's gonna be the Super Bowl MVP.
Dude, I see so much smack talked about him, from Titans fans online about, I don't know if it's people trying to justify him not being with us anymore. He was a great clutch route running receiver for us.
No doubt.
How did he not see the field with the Vikings? I don't know what that situation was, but he was a fine wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 for us. He was productive for that kind of depth chart ranking.
I think it's just the scheme that they run in Minnesota, but he'll definitely find. I mean, he's not going to put up gaudy numbers, but he's going to have great clutch plays because that's what he is. He's a clutch player. He's a great route runner, and again, the Chiefs. More talent.
Endlessly bringing in more and more guys. We've made it to the Sunday night football game, which a lot of playoff implications here. We got the Browns coming off that epic loss to the Ravens, going to New York to take on a 5-8 Giants team, right on the heels of Washington. So they are absolutely going to lay it all on the line here in this game. I don't know. I still like the Browns. That if you can look good in a loss, they sure did. I mean, they looked as good as you can in a loss, I think. So I don't know. They're on the road. It's December game. Maybe weather could be a factor here at Giant Stadium. So I'll throw my pick out there. I think the Browns will still get the win. I kind of, I like the Giants some weeks, but man, they really who'd they lose to? And they did not look good. Let me find that real quick.
Quite a few teams.
Yeah, I meant last week. It's a 26-7 loss against Arizona. I don't think their offense is enough to keep up with what the Browns are going to put up on offense with their 2 running backs. Mayfield is playing good right now at the quarterback position, so I just don't think they have enough offensive firepower to keep up. I got Browns. Lance, what about you?
Yeah. I want to take the Giants. I think this could be an upset. I would not be shocked to see the Giants win because their defense plays inspired at times. Logan, our boy.
He got a pick against Baker last year when he was with the Titans in that Week 1 game.
Yeah, and I've already made some crazy what if picks in this, and this would be my other one. I picked the Jaguars. I just had to do it. I want to pick the Giants. Because I think the Browns have that one thing going against them, and that they are the Cleveland Browns.
Their existence is just the thing that they've got to overcome.
But I could just see that happening. I could just see them falling to the Giants and the media just jumping all over them and doing that thing like, well, it's Cleveland and what do you expect and all blah blah blah. But I can't, because my thing here, I've always thought Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback. I've always believed in him, not that he's the second coming of whatever of Joe Montana, or of even Brett Favre, but he has that Favrean thing when he plays. He's good and he's going to get better. But it's Kevin Stefanski. I'm a believer in that head coach, and I think that he is the one, the anti-Freddie Kitchens, who's been able to take the talent on this team, of which there is a lot, and focus it. And I could see the Giants giving them some fits, but ultimately the Browns are they're kind of a machine.
Yeah.
So, Browns.
Yeah, I like everything you said. That's 2 picks for the Browns here. Jake, who you got here?
As we saw, Lance, I was at the Titans-Browns game a couple of weeks ago. I don't make very many trips to Nissan Stadium to see you do what you do, but I do have to commend you for keeping up the energy, in the 38-7 drubbing. So I give you props for that. Now, God. I'm going to speak from Ohio experience again, and as I like to do with the Browns, usually, if the Bengals were a little more relevant, I'd like to do that as well. The Browns had their huge heartbreaking loss following a big win against our Titans Monday night. I knew that was coming. You saw it, at home, prime time, the dog pound's going to be fired up. They had that heartbreaking loss with the Justin Tucker field goal. I don't see them going to New York and dropping this game. So I'm going to take the Browns here. And I think they're a good team. They're going to make the playoffs. I said it, Browns fans. I don't think it's a controversial opinion at this point. But the Browns are good. I like Stefanski as well. I don't see him dropping this game. So give me Cleveland.
Man, about to be a 10-4 Browns team in the NFL. It's 2020, people. That's just more craziness here.
I wonder if haters will hate us more for being 10 wins or them more for being 10 wins. The haters, the people that hate both of us. Who will they scoff at more? Who will they say is a fraud more? Us or them?
I don't know.
Hopefully they'll say them.
Hopefully.
They got to be believers in us.
We've had a lot more recent success. I mean, almost everybody has had more success than the Browns.
Yeah, but I just find, and I don't know if because I'm sensitive, I just think that Titans haters are just like extra special, with the hate.
Yeah,
there's no respect for us. It's like, no, of course, no respect for Cleveland Browns because they're the Cleveland Browns, but people just that don't like us. People that do not like the Titans do not like to see us succeed.
Yeah, it's like, why? We're just a small market team, kind of just doing our own thing. What's wrong with the Titans? Maybe it's a grudge because maybe they go back to the Houston Oilers days and they're like, bring back the Oilers, bring back the good old days.
Well, there's that, but honestly, it's because we deliver a lot of upsets. We upset a lot of teams, Although I do think a lot of those haters left the hater bandwagon after our playoff run because we took down both
the
Patriots and Ravens, and they were like, "Oh, look at this team with Derrick Henry."
For a small second there, the Titans were America's team. Just for a small little sliver, they were America's team.
True.
It was a great time.
Who should we upset? Would we be more of America's team if we beat the Chiefs in the playoffs? Do people want to see the Chiefs get beat, or do they love the Patrick Mahomes show and want to see him? I'm sure the media loves. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is like the golden boy of
I don't think there's like Chiefs haters. I mean, other than, the AFC West, other teams in the AFC West, there's really not Chiefs haters. It's like everybody loves Andy Reid. Andy's awesome. Who doesn't want to have a hamburger or 15 with Andy Reid?
Right.
And Mahomes is awesome.
Yeah, if they win 3 more Super Bowls, though, I mean, it's only a matter of time before people are going to be like, all right.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I hope we face them and they fall flat on their face. I want them to lose to us.
Yes. Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, so we got one more game left, and then we can talk about this Titans game. This can be a quick one. This is a Monday night game. We got Steelers at Bengals. Yes, the Steelers are reeling. I still think they're a pretty good team. I mean, they're obviously in the playoffs. I don't see them being a one-and-done team. It depends on who they draw, but, man, they do not look like the team in the first half of the season. They've lost some key pieces on defense. I think Big Ben is really wearing down. That running game has suddenly become non-existent. Like, I look at the box scores after their games, and they have like 30 rushing yards for the entire game. Big Ben, at his age, is not going to lead you to a win throwing 50 times a game anymore. So we'll see what they do in the playoffs, but they're definitely going to get this win against the Bengals. That's all I got. The Bengals don't have enough, really, without Joe Burrow. I don't know. Do you guys see an upset here? Lance, what about you?
No, as you said it, Joe Burrow plays. I might call an upset. If Joe Burrow was playing and, they had 2 more wins and 2 less losses, in other words, they were in some sort of fight or hunt for something, then I would say, because, look, when it's funny, the Titans, when we lose, we lost to the Steelers by way of a bad first half. We lost to the Colts by the way of bad second half. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that's, we lost to the Browns by way of a bad first half. We came back, even though it really wasn't as close to the final score. Point being is the Bengals beat the Titans by beating us at every phase, start to finish.
First half and second half. Ugh.
Yeah. And it wasn't like this just total ass whooping. It was just this steady, controlled, we couldn't get, and we shot ourselves in the foot a lot, but they, to me, looked like a solid team that, had this cohesiveness in the way they played. But Burrow was the catalyst for that. And without him and the Steelers needing to fix things, and Mike Tomlin's going to be cracking a fiery whip to get them into shape, I feel bad for the Bengals because I think it's going to be a drubbing.
Yeah, for sure. Jake, what do you got?
I'm going to make it a sweep. My only opinion here is there's got to be some sort of flex schedule implemented also on Monday night for these games late in the season, just like this one. All of America doesn't need to tune in to Pittsburgh winning by 30, 40 points. So please, NFL, dear Mr. Goodell, give us what we want in flexible scheduling Monday night. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers big.
Amen.
Agreed.
Amen to that. All right, gentlemen, let's talk about this Tennessee Titans team hosting the Detroit Lions. If the Titans do win this game, and Lance, your very bold, crazy prediction of Jacksonville over Baltimore does happen, the Titans will officially clinch a playoff spot. So we could be rooting for that for sure. So big question is Matthew Stafford, man. I do not want to see Matthew Stafford step on this field against this defense, regardless of how much pain he's in. Because if you think about it, we're not going to sack Matthew Stafford. We don't sack anybody. He could stand back there in the pocket and not move or do anything that would hurt his current injury even worse, and he could still pick us apart. I mean, of course, I'm just saying that. Hopefully, we would be able to generate pressure and make things hard on him. But this past defense still is struggling. They did good against Mike Glennon. Good. Yay for that. But Matthew Stafford is something else, and I think that's going to be a key here. Obviously, I would pick the Titans, even if a healthy Matthew Stafford stepped on the field. I do believe in this team. I love this offense. Love what Derrick Henry's doing. So I'm going to throw in my hat. Yeah, of course, I got the Titans. I think Henry keeps rolling. Hard to say if he's going to, everyone's trying to hype up his 2,000-yard rushing potential. I could see him getting 156 yards. I think that's what he has to average to stay on that pace. But, I think we just got too many weapons. If it does end up being a shootout, I think the Titans still have too much offensive firepower to get it done. A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, man, those guys are such an exciting duo to watch. I got the Titans. Lance, I'll let you speak last here. Jake, give me your take on this game.
Now, as suspect, and, as much as we like to pick on the Titans defense, they have had a lot of injuries throughout the year. And, I was studying for a preview video we're going to do, Justin, and this Detroit Lions defense almost feels a lot like this Tennessee Titans defense, and that they have several names, out on IR, banged up, a lot of holes in this Detroit Lions defense. And, all of a sudden you look up in late December and the Titans have the number 3 overall offense as far as total yards per game goes.
Yeah.
So this is maybe the best Titans offense we've ever seen. And especially with a Detroit Lions defense kind of suffering a few injuries. I know they've had them throughout the year. But as far as the starting 11 they're going to trot out, I have a lot of faith in Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. I don't know. Derrick Henry for MVP, I'll die on the hill. He's not going to win it. He's a running back. He's not a quarterback. But as far as 2,000 yards go, I'd rather have a solid, rested, healthy Derrick Henry in the first round of the playoffs as opposed to 2,000 yards. That's just me. But yeah, I got the Titans in this one.
All right. Yes. Lance.
We're obviously, I mean, look, if we were 1-12, I'm still taking the Titans because I'm a total homer, and I'll always find a way to root for them. But, even logically at that point, I think the thing about it is, so the Detroit Lions, you said it, Jake, they're very similar to us. They're banged up. Their rush defense is ours has been suspect, but hey, we especially stepped up last week. James Robinson, outside of a 47-yard run, had 20 yards. Yeah. And ended up with 67 because of that one run that he got away. Our rush defense has stepped up. Theirs, however, I think they're 29th in the league. I think Derrick Henry has 130 by half. And he might get benched depending. I do think though his path to 2,000 is more probable than most people give him credit for, because we have to play these games. The Colts are nipping on our heels. We have the tiebreaker against them, but we are tied. We have to play well here. We have to play well against the Packers, and we're going to have to play the Texans, who have nothing to play for. We're going to have to play them. That means that's how we play. The Titans, I applaud our front office so much for getting Tannehill and Henry the money, because they need each other. I had this debate with somebody recently as a huge Browns fan, huge Nick Chubb fan. He wants to argue that Nick Chubb is a better running back than Derrick Henry. You hear that argument everywhere. It's a worthy debate to have. I think Nick Chubb is the best running back in the NFL, not named Derrick Henry. Nick Chubb can plug and play into any offense in the NFL right now. You could just trade him out and switch him in, because it's just like, here's the ball. Go run through some guys if you can, get around it. Just do Nick Chubb it. Derrick Henry has an offense built around him. So it's like, and that's what Art Smith has done. Vrabel has done. They've built this around Henry, but Henry's run game is really dependent too on what Tannehill can do. They don't talk about, the Tannehill burn factor enough, but dude, AJ Brown and Corey Davis are clicking in tandem right at the right time. They have almost the exact same yards. And
every single week it swaps. Who's leading our team in receiving.
Exactly.
It's so crazy.
And we're figuring it out at the right time. So yes, it's Henry, but it is a complementary offensive effect that we're throwing on the field. And it's a beautiful thing that I want it to hold together for as long as we can. We have to play. So Titans take care of business. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 30-0 game. I'm not. Wow. I mean, they've been blanked already. Detroit's been blanked once.
Oh my! If this defense does that, I would be shocked.
It would, but Detroit's not good. And here I will say this, and I'll close out with this. Obviously, picking the Titans. I wish, and I hope, but I doubt it'll happen. I wish that we were playing Stafford, and here's why. We're playing Aaron Rodgers the next week. Stafford's not going to run around, but Stafford plays similarly to Aaron Rodgers, and that he's a gunslinger, he's got a hell of an arm on him, and he surveys the field. He doesn't eyeball anybody, and he's a gamer. And that's what I wanted to go up against. I wanted to go up against him to sharpen our teeth against Aaron. I wanted to go up against him because I wanted Vrabel to take some chances on defense and our pass rush to really set the stage for the next week. Either way, you're still going to do that. You're still going to try to kill, is it Chase Daniels in the backfield now? We're going to do what we're going to do, but I wanted to go up against Stafford because I respect him so much. I feel bad for him, for Barry Sanders, for Megatron, for all the great NFL players that never stood a chance in their career because they played in Detroit.
Dude, well said. Man, you're right too. We're going to be coming off a string of games where we would, if Stafford doesn't go, we face Mike Glennon and Minshew to Chase Daniel, and then suddenly Aaron Rodgers. Our defense is going to be like, oh my God, this is enough.
Right.
We're not ready for this.
Right. I wanted to face the best we could face, and unfortunately, we're not going to see it. I don't think. But hey, got to win the game. Got to get the dub.
Got to win the game.
10 wins. That's what we're looking at this Sunday. We haven't had that since what? 08, 07?
08. Yeah. I think it was both. Yeah, we were one and done in the playoffs both in 07 and 08.
Yeah.
I think we were 10-6 in 07.
Right.
Man. And also Adoree Jackson has not been ruled out for this game. Did you guys see?
Right.
I don't know if that's is that a tease? I mean, we've been Adoree Jackson teased the entire season. I don't think he needs to play this game. Well, you can save him for the Packers or the Texans if he's ready, but no need to rush him.
Well, honestly, though, I would say this, though. Mike Vrabel, I know you're a big fan of Titans too, but I know you're watching.
For sure. He's our guest next week for picks. So.
Right. Yeah.
Vrabel, get him out there. Get him some playing time. Put him out there, and when we're way ahead, don't make him do anything. Just get him on the field. He needs playing time. He needs to
get his feet wet. I hate when people are like, we just are saving him for the playoffs. I don't want a playoff game to be his first time playing this season. That's
I'd love for him to get 10 snaps. Just run around in circles. I don't care.
Yeah, follow some dudes on some routes and just see what happens. Yeah, don't do anything crazy. Don't throw your body or your knee around. Whatever this crazy knee injury is.
Watch this though. Watch Kevin Adoree Jackson. Adoree Jackson comes back. Maybe it's this game, hopefully, but when he is back, watch Adoree Jackson come back and Kevin Byard starts getting picks.
That's the weird factor of
love to see it.
Yeah. Man, it's time. It's time, Kevin Byard. It's time
well,
to pick.
I think Kevin Byard. There's been talk about him. His playing. Kevin's doing what he can with what he's got. Kerry Coombs isn't there. There's been an adjustment
for sure.
Defensive coaching. I think I've watched some of the all 22 cam stuff with Kevin, and I think it's how he's being utilized. He's totally a safety valve. He's a safety. But there's an attacking safety like you always saw with Troy Polamalu, and Kevin kind of had that thing coming into the league, ball hawking it, and he's having to play cleanup a lot.
He's the cleanup tackler. That's it. That's all that he's been doing.
What do you have a pass rush? You got a rush throw, and then you got Kevin doing his thing, and we don't have a pass rush, so we don't have Kevin doing his thing, and so we're missing pieces, and unfortunately, our defense has suffered what it's suffered this year. Clowney, no Clowney, but Adoree comes back. I think it complements Kevin.
And yeah, good point. Yeah, I would love to see this secondary at full strength with Malcolm Butler. Big time shout out for Malcolm Butler, who's playing really good. He's our star player on defense right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Adoree Jackson, and then Desmond King. Desmond King still flashes here every now and then. He had a great tackle for loss against Chenault, who he just knifed through, tackled him for like a 10-yard loss.
Vrabel's been getting it done with all these guys. Breon Borders showed up for a handful of games, and still, Ty Smith last game was making some plays. So, you worry as a fan. You see these names that you're like, practice squad, right? Really? Okay.
Yeah.
But they've been showing up, and Desmond King, hats off to him as well. Because he's one of those things, like he's a piece that's been added, and I think Desmond's addition has made Butler that much better, because
that does kind of coincide with Butler getting it turned around too. That's an interesting point. I didn't think about that.
Butler was very, it's like hit or miss, and look, that's the position that you saving the day or you're getting burned, and Butler could get burned, and it's not because he's an elite player, but that's the position. They are testing him, and they keep testing him, and he has been answering that call. And this last game, he was on fire, not just with the pick, but the coverage. So, hey, we're putting it together at the right time, December.
I like it, man. It's the best. It's the best time. It's the best time of year. December football and the Titans playing well. This is like the 5th year in a row where we've gotten meaningful football in December. I almost want to say we're spoiled, but I mean, the only people that are really spoiled are like Patriots fans who have won so many Super Bowls, and Chiefs fans right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're living large right now. Good grief. So, man, it's a good time still to be a Titans fan. Looking forward to this game. Hopefully we can take care of business, clinch that playoff spot, and hopefully the Jags take care of business too, so we can clinch it after this week. Don't see it happening, but no offense, Lance, but hopefully it
make me
out.
look good.
Yeah, make him look good. So I guess that's it, man. That's going to wrap it up for this video. Lance, we could seriously talk football all day with you. I've had a blast with this video, man. Yeah.
It's fun. Thank you for having me on, Justin, Jake. I appreciate it. You guys, it's like, this is what we do. This is all three of us. This is what we do when these cameras aren't on and we're like having a beer with somebody. It's the same thing, same conversation.
We just have a camera turned on.
No, it's great. Thank you guys for having me.
Man, anytime we can collaborate with you, we would love to make it happen. So yeah, man, that's going to wrap it up. I will see you at the Detroit game, Lance. If you look up, I'm not sure what section I'm in. Just like wave all around, and I'll just think you're waving to me.
Hey, if you're at the lower concourse or for the concourse area, the south end zone, man, there's a Miller Lite stage that they've got me stationed on this year. So come throw something at me.
Let me let's see. Lower concourse, south end zone. Okay.
Yeah. Throw things.
Miller Lite.
Throw things.
Yeah. Look for the guy that's throwing things. Okay.
And then as you're getting pulled away and escorted out of it, like, hey, Justin, what's going on, man?
No, Lance,
coming by.
Yeah.
He said I could throw something.
Do I sound like that? Was that your best imitation?
That's how I imitate everybody.
Gotcha. Well, man, much appreciated. Jake, you got anything left so much, to take us to the barn, as you say?
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Lance, thank you so much. I was starstruck to have you come on to our Zoom call this week. So thank you again for joining us. It was a blast.
We are humbled.
Yeah. Drop your picks in the video or drop your picks in the comments rather, and have a great football weekend, everybody.
All right. You guys take care.
Hey.
Peace.
Tighten up.
Tighten up.
And always tighten up, of course. Never forget to tighten up.